Don't make content, be content. The first struggle is figuring out what to say, how to say it, and what to look like on camera. You have to get to a point to where what's most important for you.
In order for me to get to high level, you just need to bring content that people will watch. Just like real estate, it requires consistency. So many things in life, you have to be consistent at it to start seeing results. Out of all the houses that I've walked, and out of all the videos that I've posted, the videos that do very well are the...
What's up, everybody? It's Justin, the host of the Wealthy Creator Podcast, and I'm back with another guest today. I got one of my guys here, man. He's a new member of the Wealthy Creator community. Yep. Real estate investor, 23 years old and just crushing. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me here.
Likewise, dude. Kevin Choe, man. I'm glad you got the opportunity to come today and really sit down with me. I think you are the perfect example of an individual who has started their journey in this creator space and have figured it out.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we're going to jump into a lot of what, you know, your story is and your backing, but you probably been doing YouTube, what, 3 months?
Yeah, I just got, 3 months is when I started like actually posting.
And you probably, your page was monetized, what you say, a month ago?
Yeah, just a little over a month ago.
That's impressive, dude.
Yeah.
That's impressive because most people are doing YouTube for a very long time before they actually see some real results.
Right.
How did you manage to get, you know, results quickly?
You know, the thing is, I was always on Instagram prior to moving into YouTube. So what I really did was, you know, instead of me building out a YouTube audience from the get-go, I already had, I think when I started YouTube, I had 9,000 followers on Instagram, and I just kind of like migrated my followers from Instagram to YouTube, and I just started posting a lot more on YouTube than I did on Instagram.
Got you. So you almost created, you know, and that's what good creators do. You create a product that is you,
right? That
then people become a fan of. So they'll follow you whatever platform you're on, essentially.
Right.
Good. That's really good. How would you say, or did you use any strategies to kind of get people to migrate? Did you kind of CTA to your YouTube page, or what? Is there anything that you did that helped push people over there?
Yeah. So what I would do is like. And this is me. This is even before I joined the Wealthy Creators. All I did was I said, hey, I just posted a video on my YouTube. Go check it out. And I posted on my story, and then I'll maybe chop out small clip from my YouTube. Okay. And I posted it as a reel on my Instagram. And I think that was about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What early did you have to learn as far as being consistent? Because one thing I've learned, like, being consistent in the short form is a little bit easier than being consistent in that long form style of content with what we consider now long form in the YouTube space. What were some things that you had to learn early on, you know, to really make that happen for yourself?
You know, the thing is, because just like real estate, I think content it works the same way in a very similar way in that it requires consistency. It's not, and I don't think we're just talking real estate or content. I think just so many things in life, you have to be consistent at it to start seeing results. And I was already doing a lot of real estate transactions at that time, and it wasn't hard for me to start adding the social media aspect of it, because all I really need to do was, okay, if I'm making a seller call, all I need to do is set up a tripod with my phone, and then there you go. There's content right there. If I'm walking a house that I'm going to buy as rental, I might just call up my friend and say, hey, I'm walking this house. I'll buy you lunch. You want to just come and, you know, record on my phone for me? Yeah. It was just literally cherry on top.
Yeah. No, that's really good, because the saying goes, don't make content, be content.
Be the content, yeah.
And that's really good. And it's exactly what you decided to do. I also will say that the only cheat code is consistency.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right. And you spoke to that, right? So I've learned that people that are consistent in every area.
Right.
Whether it's health, whether it's content, whether it's their business, whatever it is, they are consistent in every area. So the individual that wakes up early in the morning, gets their workout in every morning, the individual that reads their Bible first thing every morning, the individual that contacts the individuals that they need to speak to within their business every single day, those are all the same people that are making content consistently.
Right.
They just understand that if they can create a schedule and continue to do that consistently throughout the day, they'll start to see results.
Yeah.
But man, you're 23 years old. How does someone who is 23 understand this so fast and so soon?
Well, so I got into real estate as soon as I turned 20. Wow. So I got into it like a little bit after high school. So like my first year of college, that's when I got into real estate. And for me, like I'm like, how do I find a deal? Mm-hmm. And you talk to everybody that's doing at least 2, 3, 4 deals a month. I'm like, what's the secret? And every single one of them says, honestly, like, we all do different things, but it all comes down to consistency. And that's when I started to realize, okay, if in order for me to do consistent deals in real estate, I have to be consistent, like making the dials or whatever it is. And I just take that exact same formula and I just apply it to social media. And I was, like I said, I was already doing like real estate on top of it. So for me to just add a social media aspect of it was so much easier.
Yeah.
It's not like I had to start real estate and do the social media on top of it at the same time.
Yeah. What was your very first step? And I'm going into the real estate. I'm speaking on real estate because, again, you've been doing the socials for a shorter amount of time.
Right.
What was your very first step in understanding I need to do this in order to get to a high level?
In order for me to get to a high level, I think is you just need to bring content that people would watch. So right now, what I have on my YouTube channel is I have a lot of cold calling videos. And out of all the videos that I've posted, out of all the houses that I've walked, out of all the things, out of all the every other videos out there, the videos that do the very well are me cold calling the videos because they actually bring value to people. And I'm like, how can I? This is the way I want my YouTube to look like is how can I have my YouTube be like a foundation where people can actually learn and get value instead of entertainment.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And I think like you solved the problem for people
right
early.
Yeah.
Right? You realized who your audience was and what they needed. And now you feed them, what they need. And so that keeps people coming back.
Yeah.
And it also keeps that platform sending it to people that they know are searching for it and needing it. So you have tapped into this market. How did you learn who your audience was?
I learned my audience. I don't know if I actually still to this day know my audience yet.
Okay.
Because I'm so new to the space. I'm still figuring it out. But I think my audience is a lot of real estate investors trying to get into the creative financing space.
Okay.
Because every one of I say 80% of my YouTube subscribers came from my Instagram following already. And on my Instagram, I only really post real estate.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting too because at Wealthy Creator, we teach personal brand.
Yeah.
And so part of being the content is showing other aspects of your life, other aspects of who you are, your personality, and everything else that kind of comes along with who Kevin Choe is.
Right.
So I'm interested to know, is that something that you implement in your content in some creative way? Or is your content just solely real estate and that's who you've been hitting so far?
I'm like kind of, rolling the dice right now because I don't want my content to be of real estate.
Okay.
That's not what my content's that's not where I want my contents to go. But because right now I'm so heavily focused in real estate, I post a lot of real estate contents. But I want my content to be Kevin Choe. So if I end up becoming an NBA basketball player, like that's gonna be the content.
Right. No, that's good. That's good. And I think like that's what everyone should want. Again, being the content means showing other aspects of who you are.
Right.
I'm interested to ask, I know you have a strong relationship with Pace Morby. Tell me how that relationship developed.
Yeah. So when I first got into real estate, he was one of my very first few coaches.
Okay.
And I paid my way into his coaching program. And then I'm like, Pace, just tell me what to do.
All right, hold on. How much was it to get into Pace Morby's coaching program at the time?
It was $7,800 at that time.
And where did a 20-year-old get $7,800?
Well, so at that time when I turned 18, I actually opened up a lot of credit cards because I thought that was good for my credit. So I actually had like $20,000 of credit lined up, and I just ended up just spreading across like 7 different credit cards.
Okay.
So like it wasn't my money. I ended up paying everything off.
Yeah.
But it was $7,800 back then, and I'm like, Pace, you just need to tell me what to do because I don't even know where to go. And he would tell me exactly, hey, Kevin, this is your step 1, this is your step 2, and once you do step 1 and step 2, come back and ask me about the step 3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I do the step 3, and then I come back and then I ask for step 4. And it's like you're the coach too. So when you see other people actually completing step 1, step 2, it's like you're excited to teach them more.
Yep. Yeah, because that's who we see have success. There are people that are part of our program that have been a part of the program for over a year and haven't posted yet.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And for me as a coach, I want to just know, what is the stronghold? What is the issue? Why aren't you posting? And they can't quite get over the fact that they don't know what to say or what to do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, doing whatever it is you do on a daily is enough.
Yeah.
Just show the world what it is that you do on a daily. Some of them have successful businesses.
Right.
They're already, 7-figure earners. They're already understanding what they need to do for their business. They're just trying to figure out their creative space and time. And so I always find that interesting. Like, the doers are the one that see results.
Oh, 100%.
At some point, when you decide to drop that money, and that's a big part of it, because once you get the real sweat equity in the game, now you're for real. I pay for a lifetime gym membership that's $300 a month. There's no way I'm not going.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the lifetime is expensive.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, once you start paying for something, then you will commit to it because you will not want to lose that money.
Right.
And so I have found that those individuals that are committed are usually the ones that actually put more of the investment up front into it.
Yeah.
And so I tell people all the time, like, yeah, man, just press record, put it out, and never look at it again.
Yeah.
I don't watch my own content.
And the reality is most people won't even see your content.
They won't even see it. And that's why I said, I said something a couple WealthCons ago on stage when we were doing a panel. And I told people the same time that you're looking at the comments or worried about what people are thinking about you, they're watching you worried about what you would think about them.
Oh, yeah, really?
Because that's just a human thing, right? Like, people have whatever their own insecurities are, have their own thoughts on situations. And so what they do is they are watching you, constantly scrolling and watching every piece of content they can find, thinking, what would this person think about me? And at the same time, you're at home wondering what the comments are saying about your post. So put it out there and don't ever look at it again if it bothers you that much. I don't watch my own podcast because I critique it so hard that it will never come out.
Yeah.
Right? But I know that in doing it, I'm servicing someone. I'm giving value. And that's essentially what you have found. Your relationship with Pace is interesting to me.
Really?
And I'm going to tell you why. First, let me tell you a little Pace story.
Okay.
Me, right? So it's been several times where because of my, working next to Ryan and Pace, they're good friends. So seeing them together is always a thing. But there's been other instances where I've seen Pace out and about, whether we're at a conference or, we're out of town for a different conference and we see each other. We were in Miami at the end of last year, and it was for a conference that was going on down there. They both were speaking at. And we're in an Airbnb, and in the morning we were getting ready to leave. And so Ryan gave us all the time to be up and ready to go. So I always try to get out a little bit early so I know what's going on, especially as the videographer or shooter for him at the time, trying to know, all right, I need to know, because Ryan at the spur of the moment would change some things and twist it up. That's just how they are.
Yeah.
Pace is just sitting on the couch. Now, mind you, at the time, I don't really know him like I would know him now. Like, I never really had a real conversation with him.
Yeah.
But I know who he is because of all the content and everything that he has going on. So I walk out and I'm like, Pace?
He's in the couch.
He's just sitting there with his legs crossed on the couch watching. It was like it was one of the golf World Cups or something like that going on. So he's watching a soccer game and I'm like, Pace? He's like, what's up, man? I'm like, Pace, what are you doing here? Like, you're just in our Airbnb in the morning, early in the morning.
How'd you get in here?
How'd you get here? He's like, oh, Ryan told me to stop by. I'm like, is Ryan here? And he's like, yeah, I think so. The door was open. So I'm like, okay. But it gave me an opportunity to actually sit and talk with him. And one thing I learned is that Pace understands people in a way that most don't. Mm-hmm. And he's extremely relatable when you get an opportunity to speak with him. So when I see some of the content and you're there and you're in it and you all are, there was times where I think I saw you all just road tripping or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, those moments, tell me about those moments and those experiences with him from your perspective.
Yeah, so this is time. So whenever Pace travels, and he traveled with Jamil for the last a couple of years, and there was time when Jamil was taking a vacation or something. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, I don't want to go travel by myself. So he would call me up out of the blue, and one time he called me up. He's like, hey, I'm going to San Diego. You want to come? I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. I'm down to go. When are you leaving? I'm like, my flight's an hour and 20 minutes. Meet me at the airport.
No way.
Yeah, because he knows I'm very available. I don't have a wife. I don't have a kid. So
you're gonna have him in your DMs now. But go ahead.
We'll see. Majority of my audience is 90% male. So it ain't happening. But he knows I'm very available. So he's been taking me around the country, and he allowed me to we did meetups together. We did all these cool stuff together. And that's a dynamic. It's obviously I do a lot of business with him in terms of if I sell him a lot of houses, and he buys a lot of deals from me. And then at the same time I'm on his ads, and I'm on his Instagram where I get Instagram followers. So it's a very mutually benefiting relationship for everybody. Yeah. And I mean, that's how I really got kind of famous. Not famous, but I got a lot of notoriety from Pace.
Okay. Yeah, nah, dude, that's awesome. Like, I think every big creator has that individual that they believe and see themselves in.
Yeah.
And I can tell like that feels like what that relationship kind of looks like. You took what he taught you and what he said and you went and did it.
Yeah.
And so not only did it speak to what, his knowledge and his authority, but it also spoke to, this is an individual that believes in me and now I can pour back into him.
Right.
It's very serving, right? Serving the other's individual. So like, I think that's awesome. Like, I think that, and kudos to both of you all for developing that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Tell me about personal branding for you, because we talked about it, you touched on it a little bit, but I want to go deeper into what your ultimate goal is for Kevin Choe as a brand himself.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see for yourself once you're beyond just being known for the real estate?
Oh, that's such a great question. Beyond real estate, I want to be. There's one of the big things I respect about Ryan is he's so vocal about his faith, right? So, and then this is something that I just started implementing, right? So, every time once in a while, I mean, I read my Bible every morning, but I wouldn't post about it every single day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little, you have so many different types of followers, and you don't want to like really, you don't want to be like offensive to anybody. So I just kind of pull back from it.
Yeah.
But one thing that I really want to be known for is I look up to Ryan in terms of his faith, because I grew up in a Christian family, and still to this day, like I read my Bible every single morning, never miss a beat. And I want to have the faith like Ryan to go up on stage with thousands of people and have a worship night. And today, what's the first thing we did today?
Yeah, pray away.
We prayed, and I don't think everybody in that room is a Christian, but we still prayed. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of faith that I want to have, and that's the kind of boldness that I want to have in my personal branding. Real estate. I do gator lending, I buy houses and all that, but so is everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan, and there's not that many people in the creator space that's actually like Ryan. So I looked up to Ryan, and then I truly look up to every time he makes a post about his faith. I get inspired by that, and I'm like, I want to exemplify what Ryan is doing.
That's awesome. And it is being bold in what you believe.
Yeah.
And truly, there's nothing that's going to help people more than that.
Yeah.
You can give them the real estate game all you want to, but changing their life from the inside, is what really creates the real impact. I can remember a conversation me and Ryan had when he was making his choice to be more bold.
Mm-hmm.
And it went really fast. Like, we were on a plane coming back from some event, and I was like, Ryan, what are your plans for the rebrand that we're doing? We went from the Ryan Pineda show to the Wealthy Way.
Yeah.
And in fact, we were coming back from Utah, actually, a men's retreat. And I remember it clear as day. And he goes, people need help.
Yeah.
He's like, so I'm going to give him a book for 99 cents. I'm going to release that audio version of it and let people get that. And then I'm going to release a soft cover. He's like, I'm going to give them a course that's going to help them build their faith along with their wealth. Right. And then he was like, we're going to rebrand the podcast. So that I can implement those things. I don't want to just be known as the flipper anymore.
Yeah.
All right. So what started off as his goal was to be the most known flipper.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What started off as that had matured and got bigger into a wider range of things. Now you can talk to anybody. Right. Like, I didn't plan on talking faith with you, but that is now a part and a piece of what you are branding as. I think it'll be great. You'll have great success with it. Part of getting over the idea that you are offending people is a lot of people's issue when it comes to creating content.
Right.
The first struggle is figuring out what to say, how to say it, and what to look like on camera. The second part is this going to make this individual feel this way, or they're going to feel? And you have to get to a point to where what's most important for you.
Right.
All right. And I love that you're inspired by that, because that was his mission. That is a big part of his mission, is to inspire other entrepreneurs to be bold in their faith.
Right.
For anybody listening, anybody watching that hasn't been to a wealth con, this very last one of the things we implemented was the actual worship service on the second day. One of the most amazing moments I've had with my time with Ryan Pineda.
Yeah.
Seeing the room fill up. Because, when you implement, you don't know.
Yeah.
it could be 40 people show up, or it could be like you just don't know. Right. And the Bible says where two are gathered. Right. And so we were like, all right, we just going for it. Right. It doesn't matter if 2 people show up. That's who we're gonna be worshiping to.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. And to watch, I actually took my phone to the back of the room, and to watch an entire room full of entrepreneurs that did not come for this.
Yeah.
With their hands raised and worshiping God. Yes, dude. It was a moment for me that I was like, okay, now I can totally, and I was already bought in, but now I'm completely bought into really building the kingdom and really helping build this kingdom. And so it's awesome to see. And I love that you have that inspiration, because I think your impact in that area will always be greater than whatever it is that you're going to do in real estate.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of people you can learn real estate from, like you said, anybody else. I mean, you go to a real estate conference, and how many people are selling coaches? How many people are selling their whatever $10,000 product? Mm-hmm. But when you actually start implementing things with faith-based action, faith that product that's backed by faith, and you know what you're serving, and it's like I believe in it way more than anybody else's product, because I want to like for me, like I was 10% of my income goes straight to church. Yeah. And I've always done that, ever since my very first job. And it's very hard to find Christian-based entrepreneurs, and this is it. This is it. Yeah, man. It's completely changed our entire atmosphere here at the job. It's completely changed our entire outlook on what our mission is totally as a Pineda company. Yeah. I mean, it's in November, and a lot of us go to the local church, City Light in Las Vegas here. And every week I see somebody new from our office visiting. Oh, really?
Every week. Just this past Sunday, I saw our COO, Javi, walk in with his significant other, and I was like, yes, here's another moment, right? Brian just recently got baptized about a month and a half ago. Like, these are all things that, yes, this is more meaningful than whatever product they sell out there, at least for me, right? Yeah. Like, we want to sell the product, right? Because you need things to fund in order to reach masses, right? There's no question about it.
Of course.
So we don't shy away from the money aspect of what this business is and what we're trying to do. But I also think that it was never meant for you to be poor. Yeah. And to share that message is important. Like, let's not, because we're Christian, because we're believers, we don't have to get funny about the money. Yeah. Right? Like, let's just make sure that it's doing what it should be doing, and that's just reaching more people. Right. So it's awesome. Moving on, I want to get into a little bit more, because you're an interesting case, man. You've been doing YouTube for 3 months, mm-hmm. and you've done really well with affiliates. Yeah. How much have you made total in affiliates?
I'll say around 20 to 25 in the last 3 months.
Last 3 months, 25.
Yeah.
And how many subscribers do you have now on YouTube?
5,300.
And you said how many on Instagram?
Almost 14,000.
And so where do you say most of that affiliating comes from as far as the revenue generated?
Oh, you know what? Surprisingly, I thought I'd make more money off of Instagram just because I have more followers there. But YouTube subscribers, I have 5,300, 5,400 subscribers, and I make majority of my affiliate from YouTube people.
From YouTube.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think because YouTube is, from my average duration of the video is like 9 to 10 minutes. Mm. So people stay there longer. People trust me a little bit more versus Instagram. I mean, they just scroll through, story in like 3 seconds, my post maybe 30 seconds at most. So when people watch my YouTube, they gravitate towards more of what I'm pushing, and they see me using the product live, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, like, okay, I see what product Kevin is using, and I want to use it because Kevin has benefited from that. Mm-hmm. Instagram is too short to sell anything, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's, again, it goes to that. I just, like I said, it's November now. We're actually in the midst of the Wealthy Workshop. Mm-hmm. 2 days creator, 2 days investor. And one of the things that I just got off stage talking about was how important it is to get the watch time. Yeah. Right? Get people to sit with you for an extended period of time. Right. If you tap this video and you're still here after the amount of time that we've been talking, hopefully at some point you've either looked up my profile, you've looked up Kevin's profile, Kevin Choe 12. Like, you've tried to find more information about what it is that we do and what we offer. Right. And then hopefully you can find those offers. Right. But our goal is to get you to stay with us, to kind of make this a more intimate setting. I tell people, when you do a podcast, the goal is for me to feel like I'm sitting in the conversation with you. Yeah. right? I want to feel connected in that kind of way.
Yeah.
While watching two people doing whatever they're doing at whatever level they're doing, give me a lot of value, a ton of value, and some entertainment to go along with it.
Yeah.
And so it's really extremely interesting to me that you have been able to be successful at what I call monetizing the content before you were even able to monetize on a platform.
Oh, yeah.
And so what I mean by that is most people think, oh man, I got to get, verified on this and I got to get to this amount of subscribers and this amount of watch time before I can actually make any money. It's not true.
Right.
You can make money immediately if you know exactly what you need to do to set up that process. In your case, it was affiliates. You did really well, and we'll get more into what strategy you took to do this. But you did really well at getting people to trust you.
Yeah.
Because people don't support affiliate links unless they actually trust what you're saying about the product.
Right.
So before we get into that, let's just talk a little bit about how you decided what products to actually affiliate.
Yeah. So I only affiliate for 4 products right now. One is Sub2. I've been in Sub2 for 3 years and I've had massive success with it. The other one is Gator Lending Course, which is, you lend on other people's, short-term earnest money kind of thing. And then third is PropStream. And then fourth one is Ryan's, courses. And I never want to affiliate for something I've never even used, and I've benefited from myself. Like I've been in Wealthy Creator for the last, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I've like just with what Ryan taught me on the first day that I was on the Zoom with him, and he was teaching me, okay, you need to go push PropStream affiliate. And what do I do? It's like, go collect emails, do webinar. And I did that. And in one Zoom, I collected 1,100 emails within 24 hours. Yeah. And then I did a live Zoom. I posted that on Instagram, on my Instagram and my YouTube. And just with the PropStream affiliate app, I think I'll hit like 10 grand pretty soon. Right? Like, and now I can vouch for Ryan's product because it helped me. Yeah.
And that's what the awesome piece is. I hope they're not missing this, right? If you're watching this, you're listening to this, be sure to catch that. He didn't talk about a product that he hadn't used to start. Right. You started with that product, but it was another program that you were in that helped you understand how to use it. Right. So truthfully, you're seeing a return on your investment already. Yeah. And invested in these programs. Yeah, and you're not the only one. So many people have done that, but I think so many people also miss that. Let's say right now, Ryan Pineda puts out 50 pieces of content a day. Total, he probably spends 55 to 60K a month on his content team. Right. AdSense is not covering that. Yeah, no. You know what I mean? Like he can't depend on what he gets from YouTube to cover that. Right. What he can depend on is everything else that comes in through the social medias to cover that. And so it begins to pay for itself. Right. As you get into those, your numbers are going to keep increasing. They're going to keep going up with what you affiliate on. That is going to pay for you to scale every other part of your business. 100%. And maybe even get into paying for some of the lifestyle that you want as well. Yeah. Right? That's what we all hope for, essentially. And so if you are confused, oh man, that's crazy. He's 23. He's got affiliates. He's making this amount of money. He started with what he's using. Right. So if you're in Wealthy Creator already, or you're a part of Pineda Media or anything to do with the Pineda company or Wealthy brand, you should already be affiliating and making money on it. Oh, it is offered to everyone. Right. And so it's awesome to see someone that's actually doing it and sit across from someone that has found that experience well, and actually doing it. Yeah. Talk a little bit about your strategies in building trust.
I think so. Building trust. Let's just say, if I'm selling a product, let's just say I've been using PropStream for the past 3 years, and I just became an affiliate 3 months ago, right? So talking about affiliating for products that you already vouch for, I was already using it, and one way I get trust from other people is I actually show people how to use it. Right. So I go into the software and I go one by one. Hey, this is the filter. This is how you pull this. This is how this is where you get all this information. This is a mortgage balance, and I do it live with one of my business partners. So that's one way to show trust, because some people try to get affiliate money and they're like, oh yeah, this is a product. Oh, I don't know where that is, but you can call support. Yeah. Like, no, you're just trying to sell things at that point.
Yeah, you need to show and tell. Yeah. All right. Like I can show you what this has done done for me and how this works for me.
Right.
And I'm telling you that you can use it too and be good at it and do it. Like, I mean, like it's the show and tell method. It was no different. Like there's many ways of doing that, right? Like I can literally take a product and do it, right? Like this microphone, Shure SM7B. If I was affiliating for this microphone, I would tell you right now, this is the best one you're going to find out there in the market. You're going to spend a little bit more money, but it's also going to do exactly what you need it to. It will isolate in a noisy room. It's great in a soundproofed in studio. It is the high top. Your favorite artist, Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah,
she uses this microphone.
No way.
Right? So it's like, you know, you're almost like not only letting people know what it has done for you, but you're also letting people know what it could do for them.
Yeah.
And that's where the trust comes from. I also find that if you actually tell the truth on certain products, where like this, they could do this, right? Like if they want to make this a little better, they would make it so that a stand doesn't block the cord and it hasn't been the cord. Like if I actually tell the truth on stuff that I would improve on, not downing the product, but just giving you my truth on what my experience was, people begin to trust it more. Yeah. You know, in what you're saying. Yeah. So what you're saying is 1000% true. Like I show and tell them what else. What other strategies you think you use to help build that trust from people?
I think a lot of it comes from other people vouching for you. Like how many people, you know, if you were to talk about wealthy creator, how many people have benefited, or just not even wealthy creator, but just everyone's Ryan's students. Mm-hmm. Like Ryan doesn't have to go around and say, "Hey, my product's the best in the best in the marketplace out there." No, other people go and talk about his product and they say, "Hey, have you tried Ryan's program? I've been in it for 4 months now, and I think I did my very first deal." And that's how you build is trust. Is you actually help people how to, like, you show them the blueprint, and when people actually see success, that person's gonna go talk about Ryan's product for the next 10, 20, 30 different people. Yep. And when that source of information comes from someone that's not interested, like that's I think that's the best kind of trust you can ever get.
Yeah, I mean, even in this digital age, word of mouth still works
100%,
and it's still powerful, and it still exists within whatever community that you're in or whatever community that you're trying to build. The word of someone else is one of the most powerful things, you know, that can be brought into your business and the ways of promoting your business. Because I think I can trust what Ryan says, but when you get up and say this about it, it's different. Yeah. Right? Or when another student gets up and says, I did this in my first year. I did 7 figures in my first year. Right? When that happens, people tend to go, okay, this may not be, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know you ain't paying everybody to say it, right? So it's like, it becomes less of a commercial and just a testimonial to what he's already, you know, created for himself. Right. And so that's really awesome. That's another way. Another way that I always find really useful is that we talked a little bit in this, but collaboration is just powerful. Mm-hmm. So sometimes just you and me standing next to you with a picture, is powerful. 100%. Especially on social media. And then it's definitely power if I can get more than one with you. Yeah. Right? I find that for the individuals that come to our events, that take a picture every single time, a lot of their attachment to Ryan Pineda or the Wealthy brand isn't actually a thing where he's talking day to day with them. Mm-hmm. Instead, they're intaking all of his information over and over again. And they can say that, hey, I'm in this with Ryan Pineda. Right. They may not ever actually have a full conversation with the Ryan Pineda himself. Right. But they have had that time spent, all of the hours of the podcasting, all of the hours that they watch shorts, all of the time that they sit in room with us at an event, all the time that they spend virtually through the classes and the courses and the calls during the week. Like, yeah, you have had a relationship with him, whether it's personal or not. Right. And so sometimes just that digital image of you and him together lets people know, oh, this guy's the real deal. He's invested. He's for real. Like, and it gives it that validity. And then that, again, that audience begins to trust. Right. I know that I have been behind the scenes for 2 years before actually even starting this podcast or even making content for myself. I was always making content for everyone else. Right. The moment that I started showing the things that I was doing, Instagram went crazy. I got up to 12K now. Yeah. And then DMs, like I can't even get to most of them because they're all coming in so quickly for questions. Yeah. I'm like, they want to know the answers for me. And it's like, yeah, it's stuff that I know, sure. But it was stuff that I saw come through Ryan's page before. Right. Everybody was, Ryan, how do you do this on social media? How do you do that? And because he's kind of put me in position to be a mouthpiece for the social media platform, now it's coming in to my platform. And so just that collaboration between the two that started off just me doing something for him has now created an authority in my space for myself. Right. And now I just have to learn to communicate it and really stand in it. Mm-hmm. and push at it. So the content begins to change, right?
Yeah.
Funny enough, dude, you talked about like all the different elements that you're bringing to, your platform and what you see for yourself long term. I saw growth after one reel kind of did well. And the reel had nothing to do with making content.
Oh, really?
The reel, I did a reel where I just talked about a habit that you can test out when you're trying to get into the habit of reading your Bible in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, open up your Bible app before you go to sleep, before you fall asleep.
Yeah.
Because we all do it. We all usually tap into the phone right before we fall asleep. Open up that Bible app, turn the phone off, and put it down on your nightstand.
Yeah.
And then when you wake up, when you swipe up, it's going to be the first thing that opens up.
Right.
I was like, so if you open up first to the Bible app, you're giving yourself no excuse to go do something else.
Right, right.
When most people know that thumb just automatically goes to Instagram.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like you don't even realize it. It just does it.
The thumb has an eye on it.
It's just muscle memory, right?
Yeah.
And so that reel did well. And I was on a podcast with somebody else when I said it, and they just asked me for one piece of advice that I would give people. It was the first thing I could think of. I was just winging it. But it was something that I thought was true for myself at a time before I actually got up and read the physical Bible. Yeah. I wanted to have that moment. And the comments were just like, bro, this is great. And people were like, it's the greatest thing they ever heard. I was like, it's all right. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was a lot. It was just something that I thought of to do when I was trying to gain that habit. But I'm making the point of what you talk about is real to who you are. And so if you're talking about the things that you do and the things that you see, it'll all flow and work out the way it's supposed to.
Right.
You're seeing growth because you're doing the things that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're not an imposter. You're not someone that wants to do these things. You're actually doing them.
Yeah.
And it's going to be great to see you, 5 years from now when you've grown and accelerated in every level. You do have your branding and your, kind of your niche and your authority in the space. To see where you're at, and then remember this conversation where you was like, I want to do more faith. I want to do this. It's going to be awesome to see.
Yeah.
Because consistency is going to get you there.
Right.
By then, you'll have so many reps in. You'll be so good at what you're doing, dude. And truly, you'll be doing some of the same things that some of your mentors now are doing.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a really good compliment. No, I never thought I would be in the same sentence as people like my mentors like Ryan and Pace.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. One day.
No, man. I can see it now. You're doing it, right? Like it's the doers, right? Ryan tells the story of the first time, when he made the decision to go all in on real estate.
Yeah.
He was at a Cardone conference. He was at a 10X conference. And he sat and watched all these speakers come up one by one. And he said to himself, one day I'm going to be up there.
Really?
That's what he made that decision. And he committed to what it takes to get to that point.
Yeah.
We were in Utah a little while ago for a Limitless event.
Yeah,
and that Limitless event had everybody. Right?
100%.
Everybody you could think of, including Pace.
Yeah.
And being backstage and seeing everybody and talking with everybody, and then remembering his story of that 10X event, I was like, you here. All right. Grant Cardone's sitting on our couch here in the studio, right? Like
wow.
All those things start to happen. And it's like, like you spoke of it earlier and you applied everything that you learned. And now you're stepping into that and continuing to grow.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I'm filming a podcast in Ed Milet's living room. You know what I mean? Stuff that you don't really think about could ever happen in this case, but the rooms that you're in now because of what you apply. And I can see the same thing happening for you, dude. Like,
wow.
You keep doing what you're doing, keep pushing, and I affirm everything that you got going on. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. One of my goals was to speak at Pace's Mastermind. And I haven't necessarily hit it yet. I was never on a guest speaker, but I guess for Ryan, who knows? Like I'll be one of the speakers at WealthCon. Like
maybe
that might be like down the road.
Yeah, you might be next up. I mean, and Ryan truly has a discernment for that. All right, like again, this podcast, I'm sitting here in front of everybody and speaking on this and in front of you because he saw it. All right, he said, you're gonna do this. This is what we should do. All right, no different than the first time. The first time he said, you're gonna do, a workshop, a stage here in the workshop. I was like, bro, what? Like, I'm behind the camera. I'm not supposed to be up here, right? But he saw it and was like, no, you can do it. Go do it. No direction, no real direction. He's just like, go ahead, you got this. And you learn on your way up. You keep doing it, and it keeps happening. And then you end up sitting on the couch in the main room, and you end up doing a breakout room, and all these other kind of things start to happen. And so just keep at it, man. It's going to be great. I really believe in what you're doing and what you're building, especially being so young. I wish at 23 I knew exactly where I wanted to go with my career and what I wanted to do. The foresight that you're having so far is going to be magnificent.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You can find all of Kevin's links in his description. Follow him, tap in with him. If you got questions about Sub 2 and creative finance, you want to get into any other programs, reach out to him. He is going to be available to you. Anything you want to leave the people with?
Well, thank you. Number one, thank you so much for all the stuff you do for the Wealthy Creator. I've been only in it for a few weeks, but I think this was one of the best podcasts I've ever done. Just because there's so many personal things we talked about, and I'm so glad we did, because how many podcasts do I go on? It's like everything is real estate, but like we talked about faith, and I think this is our first time ever talking about faith, and wow. This was awesome. One of the best podcasts, hands down, and thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. All right, it's been another episode of Wealthy Creator. Check you on the next one.